It's been a little bit over a year since we moved to Los Angeles, and I recently started driving for Lyft. And I find it fun. I actually really like driving. When I lived in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, I used to drive to Chicago once, twice, sometimes maybe 3 times a week to do some voiceover work, to do some auditions, or to do the improv program, which I finished at the Second City in Chicago. It would take me with traffic sometimes 3 hours. Now, that wasn't fun to get to Chicago. The traffic was really bad. But on the way back, there was no traffic because it was at night, so it would take me an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes. And I truly enjoy driving. I used to drink coffee. I actually stopped drinking coffee, but back then I would used to listen to some music, have a cup of coffee, and then just enjoy the road. And driving is something that I really enjoy doing. So I figured, I'm very talkative, I like to meet new people, and I could use some extra cash here and there, so I figured Lyft would be a good idea. So I don't do it that much because the money is not that good, but when I do it, I really enjoy it. I do it at night because there's no traffic and people usually are a little bit more relaxed. I've also been meaning to make a video about the Getty Center. It's one of my favorite places to visit in Los Angeles. However, last night I dropped someone off in Santa Monica, so I figured, hey, it's getting a little late, I'm just gonna go home and get some rest. I'm driving back and it's interesting because right as I'm approaching the Getty Center, I started seeing tons of cops driving by really, really fast. And my first instinct was to kind of like follow them and see what happened or see what was going on. But then I just see that they just keep coming. So then what I do is I slow down a little bit, move to my right, and then one of the last squads kind of starts driving and swirling in front of me to kind of stop the traffic, So then I'm like, okay, this doesn't look too good. And I just kept driving and he got to a point where he completely stopped the traffic. And I was the first car in the front. So I was just like, oh man, I was so close from just sneaking through and then just keep going my way. But then he finally went through the speaker and he basically stopped the whole traffic. And I ended up spending almost 2 hours in the highway waiting for them to do whatever they were doing. There was a really bad car crash that involved like 3 cars, and apparently 2 people passed away. So that's really sad. So it got really late at night and I couldn't get up from my car because it was like 48 degrees. Basically the whole 405 got shut down, and people were going to the cops and then being like, when are we gonna be able to move? And then the police officer was like, in 20 minutes, and then he said that like every 20 minutes. It ended up being 2 hours basically. And then people, towards the end, everyone just started beeping their horns. I mean, people weren't going like desperate, because like we're just sitting there in our cars. During this time that I'm sitting there in the traffic, I'm basically looking at the Getty, which is it's just next to where I was parked in the highway. And recently, my father-in-law came to Los Angeles.
Let's go back.
When we have visits, we have like certain places that we like to take everyone to, like the Arts District, Olvera Street, and the Getty. The Getty is such an awesome place. It's one of my favorite places in Los Angeles. It's free to get in. You just have to pay for parking, which I think is $15, but you can even bring your own lunch. What we usually do is, bring sandwiches and sodas or juice or just water and some snacks, and there's a lot of areas where you can just have a seat and have a nice lunch. You can see a big part of Los Angeles from there. The materials that they use for this museum are kind of like cream color, so with the sun it really reflects and it gets really, really bright. From being high in a mountain and the architecture, there is open space, you get this feeling kind of like that you're closer to the sky, and it's just a great feeling because it's a very big open space, so you can walk and you have this feeling of just openness, which I love. We usually bring our kids. Sometimes when they're too young, it's a little bit hard for them to spend time looking at each painting. But if you just kind of go quickly, you can take a peek on some of the big pieces of art, and then once they start getting a little bit older, they start really paying attention. So for example, our oldest daughter is 6 years old now, and she draws a lot and she paints. So last time we went, she really spent some more time looking at each one of the paintings, and she seemed very excited and just thoughtful about the art. There's a garden that we go to and we just kind of like, let the kids run around. The grass is incredible looking. You can just lay a blanket and then enjoy. Alright homies, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Make sure you leave any comments, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.